Now, if you're struggling with self-sabotage and you don't know where to start, here, right here on this podcast, we're building the community. I want to remind you, breaking self-sabotage patterns takes time. You've been operating like this for years, every decade, like I was. Be patient with yourself. Celebrate the small wins. We're building a community of people committed to breaking these cycles.
I can't hear you. Oh my God.
Mm.
Talk. Okay, so we have technical difficulties at this time, but welcome to Terra to Trump, and we're going live. So we're still going to do this grieving childhood abuse and mourning loss, innocent and trust. So we're going to try to, we say, welcome, to Terra to Trump. Today, we're talking about
Hello, everyone. I apologize for what's going on tonight. I am trying to fix some technical difficulties with me and my guest Storm. Hopefully, she will use the link to come back. I will leave her spot open so she can join us shortly. I am Afonso Pelt. I am your host for this evening. Hopefully, Storm can come back on in a few seconds. I have sent the invite to her. She could use the same invite to get back to the studio. So if you're listening, please do so. Thank you. There you go. Yes. Awesome. Yeah, God is gonna make us have this show continue. We're not gonna stop. The enemy is trying to get us to put this down, but no, we're not allowing that to happen. So welcome again to Terror to Triumph, everybody. Apologize about the technical difficulties, but we are back up and running. And if you see me sniffling, please forgive me. My nose is running. It's been raining all week and cold, so I've been fighting off trying to get sick. So please forgive me for that. I'm Afonso Pelt. This is my lovely co-host Storm, and this is
yes.
Terror to Triumph. We thank you for joining us tonight. How you doing tonight, Storm?
I'm fine, thank you. Yes.
Good to hear. How was your week?
It was like very busy.
Mm, yeah, I agree. So was mine. But it's Easter weekend. It's Good Friday. Most of us have the night off tonight. And for those of us who do not have the night off, we wish you a happy Good Friday and Resurrection weekend. Happy Easter to everybody else. As we go on, we're live to Terror to Triumph live on our YouTube page. That's our YouTube channel, and you can check us out also on on my Facebook page. My personal Facebook page is Alfonso Pelt on Facebook. So, with that being said, you can also check us out on Twitch. We're on Twitch now, live broadcasting. And if you want to check us out on our podcast, you can go to buzzsprout.com, look up Dare to Triumph. As you can see, I got the logo on my shirt. She got the hoodie on, and that comes from our website, peltsemporium.com. We have branded merchandise that you can purchase and wear to show everybody that you supported the podcast, to keep the conversations going, to help victims of childhood abuse learn more about themselves, learn more about their environment, and come out from underneath the veil of guilt, fear, and shame. So, today we're talking about something that's essential but often skipped over. We're talking about grieving. Grieving, you can look at it, maybe you're thinking about, funerals and things like that. But when you talk about grieving, that's an emotion, a state of being where you're reckoning with the loss of something. This is the loss of our innocence, our trust, our sense of safety, and the childhood itself. Okay? So those losses need to be mourned, they need to be grieved. This isn't a happy conversation to have tonight. Okay? It's a necessary one. Storm, you ready to go?
Yes.
As you can see, I had to take a deep breath for a minute there. Because if you were with us last Saturday, I told you all, because we kept mentioning you have things that you need to grieve, they have to be grieved. But we didn't tell you what the grieving process was. Tonight, that's what we're going through. So before we can grieve, we have to name what we lost. We talked about that last week. When you experience childhood abuse, you don't just lose the moment, you lose entire categories of things, okay? Innocence is the belief that the world is safe, that people are good, that you're protected. That abuse that you suffered shatters that. You learn early in the world that the world is not safe. It's anything but. That people can and will hurt you. That you're not protected at all, not even by the ones you thought that love you. Okay. So you lose the ability to see the world with wonder, with trust, with openness. You become hyper aware. And that means you become hyper vigilant. You're suspicious. You're defensive. That's a loss. That's a loss of innocence. Okay. And trust is the foundation of all relationships. If you can't trust somebody, you don't even want to be around them. You can't trust them because they can invite harm into your presence, into your surroundings, into your calmness environment, into your space of safety. So if you can't trust a person, then that eliminates the relationship right there, period. There's nothing to build on. So it's the belief that people will be there for you, that they won't hurt you, that they can be relied on. When that person who's supposed to protect you abuses you, that's when the trust shatters. Okay. We learn people can't be trusted. We learn love is a weapon. We learn safety is an illusion. As an adult, we struggle to trust. Even for the people who haven't suffered childhood abuse, suffer to trust. But it's extra on us because we suffered early abuse. So we're always waiting for the other shoe to drop, always braced for the moment of betrayal. That's a loss of trust. Okay. Childhood is supposed to be a time of play, time of exploration, a time to be taken care of not having to worry about survival. But if you're abused, you don't get that. You're hyper vigilant. Talked about that a few minutes ago. You're managing emotions, which is something you shouldn't have to do as a child. You're protecting yourself and others. or others. It could be either or. You're in survival mode. You don't get to be a kid. That's gone. That's a loss. It's a loss of childhood itself. And safety is the foundation of development. If you feel safe, you feel the ability to do things, to stretch out, to learn about things around you in your environment. When you feel safe, you can grow, you can learn, you can become. But abuse creates a constant threat, and your nervous system is always activated. So you're always scanning for danger. You don't get to feel safe in your own home, in your own body, in the world. That's a loss of safety, y'all. Your identity is supposed to be a thing that's developed naturally, okay? You explore, you discover who you are, you become yourself. But abuse interrupts that. You become defined by the abuse you received, by survival, by coping. You don't get to discover who you are. Instead, you become who you have to be to survive. That's a loss of natural identity development. Healthy relationships are supposed to be safe. But if you're abused, you learn that closeness equals danger. You might lose relationships with your siblings, with extended family, with friends. You might have relationships that are damaged by that abuse, by the patterns you've learned, right? So the loss of healthy connections is that. Then you can lose time. And healing takes time, right? Processing takes time. Recovery takes time. You lose years, decades. If you watch the intro to our podcast, like I have, if you remember that phrase, I went decades before I started seeking help. That's a loss of time. Time that could have been spent building or creating or loving. Instead, I'm spending it trying to heal myself from the wounds, or you're trying to spend your time trying to heal from the wounds that you didn't cause. That's a grievous loss of time, y'all. And abuse interrupts development, as we spoke a minute ago. It affects your brain, it affects your nervous system, your ability to learn and grow. You might not reach your full potential. You might not become who you could have been. That's a loss of potential. If you don't have the time, the space, the safety to think about things that you want to be interested in, and instead you have to focus on protecting yourself because of the constant threat, then you lose. That's a loss. Development becomes a non-essential element. If your parent abused you, okay, you didn't just lose safety, but you lost the parent you needed. I needed my mom, but I lost her at the same moment. You might still have a parent, but you don't have the parent that protects you, who loves you unconditionally, who has your back. That's a loss of the parent you needed, right? This is the big one right here. Okay, hold on. Let me get my earbud right. Okay, you laughing at me? Okay, let's see. I'll make sure. Can you hear me still?
Hmm.
Okay. I didn't know if I had cut the mic off, but ooh, this is the big one. Okay, so if you haven't been abused, right, your life would have been different. You might have different relationships, a different career, or a different state of mental health, different everything. You grieve the life you could have had, the person you could have become. That's a loss of an alternate life because you always think about what things would have been like had that not happened. What what direction would your life had gone in? The opportunities you could have received, the opportunities you turned down because of the fear that you had. It's a lot. That's a lot. That's something that constantly weighs on us survivors. These losses are real and they deserve to be grieved. So, with that being said, Storm is going to take over the next portion, which is what grief looks like for abuse survivors. Storm?
Yeah, what grief looks like for abuse survivors. Grief is not linear. It's not something you do once you're done. Grief is a process, and for abuse survivors, it's complicated. Grief is anger. You anger that this happened to you, anger that at the person who hurt you, angry at the people who didn't protect you, anger yourself for surviving the way you did. Anger is grief. It is a rage of loss. Grief is sadness. You cry. You feel the weight of what you lost. You feel the unfairness of it all. You sad for the child you were, for the innocence you lost, for the life you could have had. Sadness is grief. It's tears of loss. Grief is denial. Sometimes you can't accept the loss, so you pretend it didn't happen. You minimize it. You tell yourself it wasn't that bad. I have. Denies grief. It's the mind's way of protecting you from overwhelming pain. Grief is bargaining. You think if only I had done something different, if only I had told someone, if only I had been stronger. You
Mm,
try to negotiate with the past to change what happened. Bargaining is grief. It's desperate wish to undo the loss. Grief is depression. Been there. You feel numb, empty, hopeless, like nothing matters. You're depressed because you're grieving, because you're facing the reality of what you lost. Depression is grief. It's the weight of lose or loss pressing down on you. Grief is acceptance. Eventually, you accept what happened. You accept what you lost. You accept that you can't change the past. Acceptance don't mean you're okay with what happened. It means you acknowledge reality and you're choosing to move forward anyway. Acceptance is grief. It's a pattern of letting go.
mm,
Grief is cycle. You might grieve something, think you're done, and then it hits you again. You may be fine for months, and then a trigger brings it back. You might grieve the loss of innocence, and then later grieve the loss of relationship, and then later grieve the loss of time. Grief is not linear, it circles back, it deepens, it shifts. Grief is physical. Your body holds grief. You may feel heaviness on your chest, tightness in your throat, ache in your heart, fatigue, physical pain, and nausea. Grief is not just emotion in the bodies, it lives in your body. And I have felt nausea and didn't know why. So, it kind of explains it a little bit now. But grief is loneliness. You may feel like your body like nobody understands, like nobody can really see what you lost. Grief is isolating. It's
mm,
loneliness of carrying something nobody else can carry for you. Grief is necessary. This is the important part. Grief is not something to avoid, it's something to move through. When you grieve, you're honoring what you lost. You're acknowledging the reality of your experience. You're releasing the pain. Grief is healing. It's the path through loss. Back to you,
Absolutely.
Alfonso. Yes.
Grieving childhood is grieving childhood abuse. It's sacred work. And here's how to do it. Step one, name the loss. Okay. Be specific. Don't just say, I lost a lot or I lost everything. Say, I lost my innocence or I lost the ability to trust or I lost my childhood. Or you could say, I lost years of my life. You could say, I lost the parent I needed. Naming the loss makes it real. And you can't grieve what you won't name. You have to create a space for your grief. Grief needs a lot of space. It needs time and it needs your permission. You have to set aside the time to do it. It might be one day a week, an hour a day, a weekend. You you can even do it like meditate on it. You know what I'm saying? You can make it to where it's something that you would honor by like lighting a candle or something like that. It doesn't have to be huge, but it has to be something where you can set aside time to respect it. Okay? You give yourself permission to feel, to cry, to rage, to be sad. When grief comes, let it. I know that might sound weird because a lot of us sometimes we feel our grief happening in the weirdest moments when we are unexpected of it. But if you can, try to get to a place where you're safe, try to get to a place where you can feel comfortable to let your grief go, let it happen. One of the biggest problems is that we're holding this all inside and we're not allowing it to flourish and dissipate. You have to bring it up and let it out. It's like, I know it's kind of gross to even say this, but it's like vomiting, right? If something's sick in your stomach and your body wants to reject it, you have to go to a place to expel it, to let it out. Creating a space for you to grieve is the same process. You want that nastiness out of your system. And you can't let that nastiness out of your system if you don't let it go. If you keep holding it inside, it's not going to be good for you. Eventually, it turns rancid and it's not good for anyone else around you. So don't push it away. Don't judge it. But when you're angry, be angry. If you're sad, be sad. If you're numb, even that's okay too, because that's part of what you're feeling. And remember, your feelings are valid, right? So if you validate your feelings, you know they're true, you know they're real, and you let yourself feel, you're giving yourself the power to feel, the emotion ability to feel. You're actually creating a space for you to connect to your emotions. Feelings are not good or bad, they just are. And they need to be felt. They need to be felt. We have to express the grief that we are inflicted with, right? It needs to come out of your body. I just explained that. You can write about it, talk about it, cry about it. You can move about it. I know that sounds weird, but you can dance, you can run, you can skate, you can swim, you can exercise, you can do whatever. That's what I mean by move. You can get in motion, whatever. Go jogging, take a nice walk, do some push ups. Something you could do. You don't need to go to another place to do it. If you need to do it right then and there, do something that you could do. Jog in place, you know, do some leg raises or some crunches or something, just get into motion. If you feel like that, that's on a person to person basis, but get into motion, get in the cycle of motion, create art about it. You can write, you can make a painting or a drawing, you can make a song, but it's up to you what your creative medium is. But you could use that as an expression of your grieving, okay? You could scream about it. Screaming helps. I ain't gonna tell y'all too much how I knew that, but screaming does help. It helps let your anger out. That does help, okay? I tried to get to a place where nobody would hear me when I did that. Sometimes my pillow became my confidant, screaming to the pillow because I didn't want to disturb anybody. But yeah,
My
screaming does
car.
help. Your car, see, that's a perfect place. It's an isolated place.
I
And
have, yes,
you have, go ahead, you can talk.
I have, I have let go in my car. I have screamed to, I feel like I was probably voiceless, because I was just in that place. And, you know, as we speak and we talk on this, it's saddening because I'm grieving something now, but I'm getting through it, and every time we have a segment, it gets better and better, because it allows you to let go, and to know how to do different things. Because it's some things that, yeah, we went through therapy, but no, your therapist is not going to know everything, every single thing to tell you. So this is good.
Yeah, yeah. I told y'all I was gonna bring information to y'all every single chance I got. Anything I find, I'm gonna do some research. I'm gonna dig it up, and I'm gonna bring it to you. Because if it helps me, I know it can help you, right? And if it
Yes.
helps you, that helps me again. It's therapeutic for me twice. You know what I'm saying? So I know you feel in the same way, Storm, right?
Yes.
See, and a lot of this stuff, right? Okay, I'll do an internet search, and I'm gonna tell you. I shouldn't tell y'all this secret, but
No, no, no,
I'm gonna
no,
let it
no, 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 no,
say
no,
no.
no,
Don't let
no,
them know.
no, 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 because we have to go through it when we go through it. If you give people the identity, they have to go through it, the same way we're going through it. So we every time we get on this platform and we have something new, people just don't realize that we didn't coerce this, we didn't prejudge this. We reading it live at the same time we just got it. So when emotions pour out and you see us sad or you see us, like just expressing ourselves in a deep, compassionate
Mm,
way, we just got the material and it's live right now in live time. And it gives us a chance to say, oh, that really hurt. I really felt that, but that's something that I didn't get in my therapy session. And we can go through it at live time the same way you go through it the same time you feel it, to let you know it's real. It is real when we go through. So everything that we talk about has not been discussed in our therapy sessions, but some of it has came to like some of this, yes, they talk about this, but it's not like they went deep diving into this. This is a deep dive. This is a deeper situation. We even take things on a deeper level, you know, to our audience. We, our kings and queens, we take this to a deeper level because y'all all are beautiful in your own way. I always remember that we say that on our shirts in his logo, you are all beautiful. So you are all beautiful no matter what you've been through. You're all beautiful souls. And we go through this the same time we give it to you. So when you see us sad or you see us break or you see us cry on this platform, trust we're going through it at the same time you going through it, you know?
That's absolutely true. Whew. Okay. I was kind of holding my breath right there. Sometimes when I be feeling stuff, I hold my breath and I don't realize I'm doing it until after I'm like, okay, I'm starting to feel lightheaded. Why I'm starting to feel, I don't know I be holding my breath. And
And see,
that's a
that's
triggering
part of
thing.
it. That's
It's a
part of it.
response.
That's part of
Well,
it.
y'all gotta
Everybody,
know. I'm trying to tell y'all this stuff is serious. Now, I guess they ain't gonna
yes.
get it until they get it. You know what I'm saying?
It
But
just watch the segments and trust me, when you start going back over it, you subscribe and you able to replay it again and again. You'll be like, I missed something. And when you replay it, you're gonna see what you missed. And you wanna make sure that you don't take your eyes off of it because you will miss something that you really need, fam. You will.
yeah, so you have to find what works for you, right? And you have
Yes.
to let the grief move through you.
Mm-hmm.
You have to witness your own grief. I don't know, like
Mm.
I don't have a mirror. How can I how can I look at myself? You know, how can you look at your you gonna cross your eyes and like when I can't see myself, Well, anyway,
No.
but this is important. I make jokes about it, but it's important, right?
We
You
just
need
try
to
to be
witness your own
humorous.
grief,
Yes.
and you need to see yourself grieving to validate your grieving, right?
Yes.
You might say to yourself, "This is real. This is valid, and this matters." Okay. You could say, "I'm grieving because I lost something real." You can say, "My pain is legitimate." You can also say, "I deserve to grieve." Okay. Now, you don't have to grieve alone. If you choose, you can grieve with people you trust. If you found somebody that you can really trust, you can share your grief. You can let people witness it. You can let people support you, but only with the people who can hold space for you, who won't try to fix it, who won't minimize. I said minimize.
Okay.
That's a blooper. Y'all caught that one live, right?
Yes.
Minimize. Okay, I'm sorry.
That's okay.
Uh,
Come on.
People who won't minimize it, who will just be with you in your moment of need, right?
Yeah, and you have been there to witness me grieve, and you have heard me grieve, and it kind of hurt you, but yeah, you was there to hear me grieve. Yeah.
But I'm gonna be honest with you about that, right? I was honored that you gave me the space to hold for you to let me be the shoulder that you could grieve to.
Mm-hmm.
I felt honored by that, and I respect that. It's not something I take lightly because I know my space. You know what I'm saying? I know me. And I often think to myself, I wish I could have somebody to grieve to like that, like you did for me. And that let me know, hey, I got somebody I can grieve to if I need to open up and just vent, or, well, not scream. I ain't trying to blow your eardrums out. but but at least, I could cry to, I could, talk about my emotions, I can open up. You know what I'm saying? And that's what we're talking about. We need somebody in our lives who we can share these emotions with these grieving feelings. And that's not gonna be a majority of the people around you. I'm gonna be honest with you. A lot of people are not going to want to sit back and just let us grieve to them. So it has to be somebody who is very compassionate in your circle. Somebody who's empathetic to your I'm trying to say two different words at the same time. Sympathetic to your
Sympathetic.
situation.
Yes.
Eh, Empathetic. I'm trying to mix them both.
Sympathetic.
Anyway,
Empathy and sympathetic about your problems.
empathy and sympathy. Empathetic. Yes, that's a word. Sympathetic. Yes,
Yes.
that's a word. But not empathetic together. That's not a word. So,
No.
right. No. So you can create moments to honor what you lost, right? You might write a letter to your lost innocence. I haven't done that one yet, but I have wrote a book, and I would surmise that that book is my letter to my lost innocence. The book will be coming out this year. It's called "The Terror in My Eyes." It's published by Hawes and Jenkins Publishers, and we're working on the final edits now and trying to get the
Yes.
typesetting done for the page design, and then it's off to the printers. So
Yes.
the last line of edits in, what in the world just happened? Did you see
You
that?
froze. You froze.
Yeah, just looking at that, the screens went blank to
Yeah.
me.
No, but you froze. The
Mm-mm.
screen didn't go blank. You froze.
Did you keep hearing me? Was the audio still
No,
coming through though?
no. Just for a minute, just for a brief
Okay.
second, you froze. Yeah.
Hmm. So that
Mm.
was critical. Okay. So
Okay.
what I was
You can
saying
light
was
a.
about my book.
Yes.
You can hear me now?
Yes, I can.
Okay. So what I was saying was about my book, and I'm trying to hurry up and get it out there before the screen freezes again, right? So what I was saying was about the book. The book is called The Terror in My Eyes, and
Mm-hmm.
it's published by Hawes and Jenkins. And I was just talking to my publisher. I just sent in the last round of edits yesterday. Well, this morning, actually. No, today's today's Friday. Yeah, today Good Friday. So I sent it in this morning. And she responded, which I was shocked by because it's Good Friday. I didn't expect a response until Monday. But she said she sent it in to the editors and they will get the page design ready. So they're pretty quick on the draw when it comes to the editing things. So I am ready for that because soon after that, page design approval and then printing. So we're really close, and I'm hoping to have it done by the end of May. Might not be a realistic projection, but I'm hoping. Okay, so with that being said, this book that I wrote is like my letter to my lost innocence. Okay, excuse me. I'll let you guys know when it's dropping, when it's out and available for purchase, and where you can get it from.
Yes.
Going forward, you can create art about your grief. We already talked about that. You could plant a tree in memory of what you lost. No, people have done that. Like they'll have a balloon releasing, like a ceremony, right? And
Mm-hmm.
they'll just gather everybody together and they'll say a few words and then they'll release the balloon. And afterwards, they'll have a little, light luncheon or some cake, hot dogs or something like that. But these are things that we grieve when we lose things. We celebrate sometimes, or we might light a candle, like I said earlier. Like, man,
I did that.
am
I
I
light a
on point with the
candle.
topic?
Yes.
That's what you
Yes,
do.
you
You
are.
light a candle.
I light a candle. And this helps, because I read up on it. And so I did 1 year, I had lit candles like all over my house. And it was, like you said, for some of the reasons, that has been going on. but also I was grieving other things. So therefore,
Mm,
I didn't have to tell everybody what the candles was lit for. But yeah, I lit candles all through the house because I was grieving, like you say, innocent. In my loss of
hmm.
innocence, I was grieving the loss of a husband, a past husband. I was grieving the loss of a past grandfather and the loss of my dad's passing, and all that is in this month, so happened. But yes, I do candles
That's wild.
and I like candles, because you have to have some way to release, everybody have to have some way to release, everybody is different, and everything. So however you release is how you release.
That's a
Hmm.
good thing, though. That's a good thing. And in a way, you're releasing in around other people, but they don't know with the
Hmm.
candles. They're just looking
Yeah.
at it as this decoration, but they don't know what it's about.
Oh,
And
but
that's kind of
everyone,
a
be sure that they are, when you are lighting your candles, they do have to be white candles, everybody. They do have to be white.
okay.
Yes.
Why do they have to be white?
It's purity.
Spiritual?
Yeah. Yes.
Okay. Okay. I'm gonna have to ask you about that after the show because
Yes.
I don't know. I don't know why the colors of candles would matter. That's a curiosity in my head right now. So I don't want
Okay.
to take away too much from the topic, but yeah, that's interesting.
Yeah,
And
it's
also,
it's you can read up on it. Yes, it's real and spiritual. It's real. Yes.
yeah, I mean, I'm not saying it's not. It just draws me back to a lot of things I've seen. Like you see it in movies, people having seances. They always have these white candles,
Oh,
or
we're not trying to do sales. It's nobody, no
no, no,
black
no.
diamond, no black diamond, no Star
I'm just
David,
saying
no,
that as an
you know.
example. I'm not saying that you own seances. I'm just saying that that's where it drew me back to. Like, okay, here's another thing it drew me back to, right? I'm sorry, y'all. But I was raised in a Roman Catholic school, right? And they always had these white candles. But the candles would be inside of these red glasses, like candle holding glasses. So they looked red, but the actual candle was white. And like if you wanted to pray for something, you would stop at the candles. They had a little shelving thing where you will walk up, you'll take the little stick and you'll put it in a fire, one of the candles, and then you will light another candle. You'll say your prayer to yourself, and then you put the stick out, and then go and have a seat. So those are the things that draws me back to, not necessarily something bad like
I'm
that,
gonna
but
talk about that fire to another fire. We're gonna hold that conversation after this, cause I got something about that. I don't like that,
oh shoot, that you could say that for a bonus episode or something. Because I got some stuff about fire too. I got two good stories about fire that I can share.
But we
Dealing
gonna
both
stay
dealing
on
with my
track.
childhood too.
We gonna stay on track, everybody.
No, no, we are not firebugs.
Oh, you. See, okay. Anyway, we gonna stay on track, everybody. Anyway.
Yeah, let's
Uh,
continue, right?
uh,
So I already talked about ceremony and releasing the balloons is more like a creating a memorial. So you honor the loss, right? You acknowledge it, you say it, you say goodbye to it. Okay. You release the loss because at some point you have to release the loss. This is the aim of the whole thing, right? You trying to let it go. So you stop holding on to it so tightly. It doesn't mean that you forget. It doesn't mean that you're okay with what happened, but it means you're no longer carrying it as your primary identity. It's not really the part of you that should be prevalent, rather. Permanent. I was about to say permanent. See, I mixed the two words again. I don't know what's going on with me. I got dyslexia of speech or something. I don't know. But anyway,
No.
maybe it's my nervousness doing this. Yeah. So you say this happened to me. I lost things and I'm moving forward anyway. You know,
Yes.
you make it said that you're going to move forward and you're going to leave that stuff behind you, or you're going to make sure that it's not in your everyday thought process. Okay. You're going to start focusing more on the present, on the current situation, on what's around you, your circumstances as you need your needs to be met. So that's a way to change focus. Okay. The final step is integration. What I mean by integration. What I mean by integration is that you incorporate the loss into your story. It becomes a part of who you are, but not all of who you are, right? So you're not just a person who's been abused, you're a person who survived abuse, who grieved, who healed. If you think about it, that's the reason why we call this terror to
To
triumph.
triumph.
Because being a survivor means you triumph over your loss. Kind of fitting now that you look at it that way, right? So
Yes.
when people see the word terror, they automatically start thinking, what is this, a horror podcast or something? No. Sure, the things in our past was horrible. We're not
Mhm.
denying that. But that's not the focus point of this podcast. The focus point of this podcast is healing to empowerment. Okay. So the loss becomes part of your narrative, but it doesn't define you. So the truth, grieving is not weakness, it's strength. You ever heard it said, and I hate colloquialisms, but this one is kind of fitting right now. You ever heard it said that whatever doesn't kill you makes you stronger?
Yeah, I heard it.
After you go through your grieving process about the abuse that we receive from our childhood, you can't tell me that doesn't make you stronger. We some of the strongest people on this planet because of the abuse we've endured.
Yeah.
Yeah, yeah, we like that. We some strong-minded
Yeah.
individuals after the fact.
Yeah.
Yeah,
I have had
we
someone to
probably wouldn't
tell
have been that
me,
before that. We might
yeah,
have been
weak.
something else, but what we are now, we're not to be played with. I'll just tell you like that. We're not to be played with. I'm gonna leave that right there because that could lead somewhere else. But when you grieve, you're honoring yourself. Okay, you're acknowledging what you survived. You're choosing instead. You're choosing to feel and not feel numbness. You don't want to feel numb. You want to feel because that's where your power comes from. Feeling. Your numbness is the opposite of you feeling. The more you're drawn to the numbness, the more you lose your power. So you want to feel, but that takes courage, that takes power, and that takes healing. So, Storm, you have any questions for me out of this list of questions that we could ask each other?
What emotions
Like I always say,
came with
don't
your
go easy
grief?
on me.
What
What's
emotions
that?
came? What emotions came with your grief? With your grief.
What emotions came with the grief?
Yeah, what emotions came with your grief?
Mm.
I'd say a lot of sadness came with that.
Hmm.
Self pity was a part of that. Anger was a lot of it was a lot of anger and the loss, the loss of the childhood I should have been, the loss of the person who I was, the child that I remember who I was that got altered into the person I am now. I grieve that child. So I'm saddened not to know that person. I feel I feel like when the trauma happened, that person died. So I grieve that person. The people who knew that child, the child that I used to be, my family, I know they look at me and like, where what happened to that child? What happened to you being that happy go lucky, dancing around the house, trying to do backwards flips but failing and wanting to do music and drawing and all that stuff? What happened to that person? That person died. There's no nice way to put that. You know, I've tried to pick up some things from the past, but it's just the attachment to the things I used to have is not there. I don't know if it's because picking up things from that era in my life makes me feel like a possible trigger could happen from that. So I don't, whew, that's a lot there. That's a lot. That's a lot to unpack in that simple question. It's not just about the emotions that came with the grief. It's about remembering the grief itself. Well, what was it that I lost? You know, and
But
the
we
things
just
that
talking
made
about
me
the
happy.
emotions. Yeah, yeah,
Yeah, I try to stay focused on emotions, but everything else is wrapped up into that. It's like
yeah.
it's a twofold question. You know what I'm saying? You want to say what emotions came with the grief, but in order to remember the emotions, you have to invoke what the emotions came from. So you think about the things that they came from to remember the emotions, and that brings up a whole nother thing. You know what I'm saying? So to keep it
So I would
simple,
say,
yeah,
what do you still need to grieve?
I almost cussed.
Oh
But do
Lord,
I still need to
no, we
grieve?
are
Dude, a
not going
lot.
to do
Nah,
that.
it got a long way to go. I mean, I'm
Um,
just not starting this process of grieving. So I got a lot. Like my therapist said, I got a lot to unpack. So
oh wow, yes.
what about
Yeah,
you?
yeah. Um, I buried it with my grandfather. I buried it with my husband. I buried it with people that have done me wrong. They're deceased, as you know. So it may be one victim still floating around, but that's what the candles is for, so that I can bury the past. Do I still remember everybody? Yes, I do. You know, I would never forget it. But it's just like we have said, you go numb, you kind of like laugh or crack jokes, to not think about certain things. And that's the person who I am. I'm the jokester. I'm
Mm,
the one that gonna crack jokes. I'll make you laugh about something that's so painful, you know, and you're like, why she cracking a joke over it? I'm cracking a joke over to keep from crying over it because I feel numb about it because if I just really show emotion over it, everybody, to tell the truth, I'll probably be in jail. So therefore, I have to, go numb. I
Look
have to
up.
create jokes about it because, to be honest with you, everybody, I did go to jail over the second offense. So it was not a joke at that point in time because I was willing to do some time over something that happened drastically to me. And is that person still living? Yes, he is. But the rest of the people that have done me wrong, the majority of the people, and I do have said, because I'm a victim of many traumas. So the majority of those people are dead, they're gone. So it's like to just be able to light a candle and say, hey, you know, I'm at peace. Did I drop it out at the altar? Yeah, a lot of Christians can tell you, oh, baby, you need to pray for it, God to take it away. No, baby, let me explain something to you. It's just like what we telling you day for day. And I'm learning day for day myself. No, they can't take it away. You can say, God, I repent. You can say, forgive me for my sins as I forgive those who have sinned against me. But would you ever forget? No, you won't. Would you remember it? Yes, you will. And it's going to always be in the back of your memoirs. You will never forget. But you can forgive. Do I forgive those people? Yes, I have. I had to come with grips. That's the only way that I can move forward. It's like lighting candles and making sure that I do this every year, that I do it at every time of event. Because and that's for my own sanity. But you're
Mm,
not gonna forget everybody. You will remember. You can forgive, do forgive, but you're gonna remember. I'm not gonna say that you're gonna get over it. You're not, but you can get through it. And that's why you get your therapist so that you can get through it. And
mhm.
then you look at the programs that we have, you look at all the different segments we have, and you can get through this. Cause these segments have been helping me. Cause y'all have to know I ain't
They
had
helped
no
me
dirt.
too.
I ain't had no dirt in over 30 years. So yes, everybody, I haven't had dirt
Oh,
in over 30 years.
see, now look, we constantly say on the show, hey, we're not therapists, we're not
Yeah.
psychiatrists, we're not in the health profession. We didn't go to school for any of this, but we are survivors and we know a lot about what we feel and the things that we know and the things that we've seen. And that's where we can connect with you guys so much on this. The fact that you said something that just resonated a lot with me was that you went through therapy and you've been to a therapist some 30 odd years ago, but here we are doing this show and things are still teaching you. I'm learning too on this show. Like, okay, I'm not trying to make. I'm not. I'm not a actor, and I'm not trying to put on a show. A face for this podcast. Well, what I am is being really honest with you guys about my feelings and emotions. And some of this stuff takes me there. You know what I'm saying? Because I do the research, but okay, she told me not to say it. Okay, I'm not gonna say it. I'm not gonna tell y'all my secret. She said don't tell a secret. I'm not gonna tell y'all the secret. So I'm keeping it to myself. I'm gonna keep this one. I'm gonna keep this because you said it. You said it, Storm. So I'm gonna keep it. Okay. Anyway, we're gonna move on. We're gonna move on
They
because we
go
only got
through it
like a
as
minute
we
left.
go. They go through it as we go through it.
That's what they need to understand, though. They need to
Yeah.
understand that we're learning too, right along with you. We are
Yes.
survivors. We're learning this together. Hence the title underneath the title of the show, the name of the show, the subtitle, Surviving Together. That's what it means. We're surviving together.
Together.
Okay. let me get this call to action out so we can get out of here because we're already overtime again. That seems like the current theme to the podcast. We should just name it overtime. Triumph in overtime.
No, it's just be
I'm
so
just
good
saying.
stuff. That's just good stuff. That's all it is. It's good stuff.
Right. I mean, that's I tried to concise it to 30 minutes, but
That's
we have so
okay.
much
30 minutes is an
information to share.
hour. So we
Right. That's
good. So
why.
let's yeah. So let's keep it moving, baby. We got
Okay.
this.
Well, that's going to bring me to another thing, but I'm gonna bring that up at the end, at the very end. But
Okay.
okay, this week we want you to name one thing from your childhood. Anything, name it. You don't have to do anything with it just yet, but just acknowledge that thing. Okay. Then have to understand that grief is the path through loss, not over it, not pushing it down to go forward, but through it. You're trying to manage it, okay?
Mhm.
And you're brave enough to walk through it, okay? You made it this far. We know you're brave enough to walk through it. We need y'all to join us Tuesdays and Saturdays, 9:30 p.m. as usual Eastern Standard Time. I've made the choice, and this is what I wanted to talk about at the end. I've made the decision that we will go forward at 9:30 p.m. Eastern Standard Time on both days, whether or not I'm at work. So if we have to do something on Tuesday, I might do a pre-recorded show for you guys so that me and Storm can still do a show for you, but it won't be a live Q&A. It'll be a pre-recorded show for you. So that way we can still be on point with our time slot because now our schedules are at opposition right now. You know what I'm saying? I'm
Yes.
afternoon, she's days. So I'm at work when she's getting off work. When she's at work, I'm probably getting up, getting ready to go to work. So by the time I get off, she going to bed. So it's like we don't have time to connect like that. So we're gonna do some pre-recorded shows for you guys, so you guys can still be up to date, still be informed, still have all that good information coming, and maybe, maybe I'm gonna have a sidebar with Storm. I've been thinking about this, but I'm gonna put it out there to Storm so she can think about it too. This is live on the show, so maybe Storm can host the show by herself. It's
Oh,
just a thought, just a thought. But, since our schedules conflict so much, I'm thinking I could do some shows, by myself, but Storm can also do some shows by herself too. Just so we can
okay.
keep it fresh, keep it going. Keep the
Yes.
live Q&As going, especially so that everybody can interact with us on the show, ask your questions and things that you will want to ask. So we might open up more days that we do the show besides Tuesdays and Saturdays, but I will have to talk to Storm about that to see how she feels about that. I'm not gonna put her too much on the spot tonight, but I did want to put that out there. That was on my mind. And if you guys would like to see something like that, make a comment, make a suggestion. Mr. Suresh Varma, you have been so diligent in watching the show. We thank you for joining us all the way from India. We appreciate you and your
Yes.
family watching our
Thank
show.
you. Thank you so much.
Storm, do you have anything else that you would like to say?
No, I'm good. This has been a great night. This has been a great segment. I have already, expressed and, talked about certain topics. So it is good. It's been a
You like
good
this one?
night. I
Okay, okay.
mean, I
I
really
felt
kind of like, yeah. It really touched me. I thought I was gonna be emotional, but that goes to show you that I'm still kind of knowing people. So I thought I was gonna be very emotional through this because I do grieve a lot of things, and I thought I'd be very emotional, but I'm not. So I still see that I'm kind of really in my numb phase. And that's kind of cool because we told you sometimes you will be numb. So it's good, you know?
See, right now I got that little thing right there. I'm gonna move over to the side so you can see where I'm right here. It feel like you want to come up. That's that. That's that. That's
That
that anxiety.
nauseous.
Well, no, it's not nauseous. It's anxiety,
Uh,
like emotions. It's like the literal physical embodiment of the emotions that want to come out. I can feel it like building up right there. I don't want to cry on the show
oh
because
my
I know I had to go through
God.
the show. I had to give out the information. I don't want to get angry, but I feel all those emotions starting to bottleneck right there. So that's why I'm like, yeah, these things are real. They touching me. I know they touching some of y'all out there because we wouldn't have 84,000 views on our YouTube platform
Yes.
alone. And then on our Buzzsprout platform, we got over almost 300 downloads now. And then we're in over 9 countries and 34 cities around the globe. So
Okay.
I know we are helping somebody. And I thank you for watching the show. And
Thank you so
anybody who feels
much.
that this show, huh?
And I
You
said,
said
thank you
thank you so
so
much
much.
too.
Yeah, thank you so much. And
Lady
especially the
Green
person
did,
that's
she was
tuning
saying
in
thank you.
from the long, especially the person that's tuning in from Texas, you know, thank you. Yes.
Texas represent.
Yes.
Everybody know I'm from Detroit, Michigan. But yeah, you can hail your state. That's cool. And then anybody want
Yes.
to join in, chime in, tell us where you're from, blah blah blah. That's cool too. We
Yes.
don't mind that. We
Yeah,
want the
please let us.
interaction.
Yeah, please. We want to know where you're tuning in from. It don't even necessarily have to be from our states. It can be from California, from Florida, from New Jersey. It could be from New York. It could be from Colorado, Utah, Wyoming. We just want to know where you're tuning in from, and to name any
And
other
it don't
states,
just have to be in the United States. You could be from Brazil. You could be from Naples. You could be from Rome. You could be from Hong Kong. It don't matter. We don't care.
UK.
We just want
Yes,
you to chime in to talk to us so we can talk
yes.
to you back. If you have questions, we want to answer them if we can. If we can't, we will find the answers for you and bring them up in our next segment. So that's why it's so viable for you guys to interact
And
with us
even
because we
and
can give you information.
even if you're tuning in from another country, if you ask us what are your domestic numbers, trust me, Alfonso will look them up for you. He have helped somebody when I was on a platform on TikTok. He helped a young lady. She was from the UK. He gave her some numbers. He looked them up and he gave them to her on the spot, people on the spot. So you talking about we care just that much. Some people say, I get back with you. He didn't get back with her. He helped her right then and there and put it in the chat, and he helped her
Mhm.
right then and there. She was crying and she was like really thanking us for the numbers and stuff like that. So you never know who you helping.
And that's the whole thing. It's about reaching out to help, to bridge that gap that is so prevalent, right?
Yes.
Because me and Storm in our day, we didn't have nobody to bridge that gap. There were people suffering, there were people to help. Nobody knew how to get to each other. Only if the people that were suffering had to be in a crisis state where emergency services had to be involved, like ambulance or something like that, to take them to the people that could help. That was the only bridge. 911 was the only
Yeah.
bridge.
Yeah. You talking about you almost ending your life, and this is what it took to get you some help. That's what it was like back in
And
our
think
day.
about it. Think about this. Back then, they would tell you
Mhm.
to call 911 only if it was a life threatening emergency. People
Yeah.
don't look at suicide as being a life threatening emergency. And nobody in the house is about to die because I am. I'm not about to call 911 if I'm about to end my own life. They don't think that way. We don't think
Yeah.
that way.
And
But
then
if we want
they
some
don't
help,
want to. they didn't want to turn you over. They didn't think that your suicide was enough. They would put you like in a hospital for like a week, and then they would turn you loose, like, "Oh, you okay? You good?" and
Yeah.
stuff like
Yep.
that.
With that
And even in jail, when they put
kids
you on
crying.
suicide watch, it's not enough. They take your tennis shoe strings. They take your, they tell you you can't have the wire in your bra. And they take the watch your bra, women. And they take your tennis shoe strings like you really ain't going to tie your own
I take you.
jumpsuit. And no, because you couldn't have a belt. You couldn't have nothing. So it's been
Mhm.
still ways that people did what they wanted to do when they wanted to do it, fam. And you just
Wanted
got the,
cheats.
yeah,
Yeah. If
yeah.
they
So
want to
they
get
did it.
themselves out of there, they found ways.
Yeah.
And you don't want the person who is going through what we're talking about already feels imprisoned. Why would you put them in another form of prison? That's not helping their psychosis. That's not helping them deal with their emotions. That's not helping at all.
But that's gonna be another segment. Everybody is, now everybody thought 911 was a joke back then. So that's why I guess they made a song about it. But that's gonna be another segment that
It
we'll pick
still
up
is
on
to a
it.
certain extent, but yeah,
Yeah.
we're focused
We'll
on actionable help.
hmm
Actionable meaning that you need help right now. Those numbers down there at the bottom of the screen can get you that help right now.
yes.
Not, oh, tomorrow, oh, you got to wait till Monday, oh, you got to wait 45 minutes for police to come to your door right now. Down there, right now.
We we view these videos, we go through them. So if you think we don't go through past
Not
segment
playing with you.
videos, please put whatever you want in the chat. We do run the videos back. We do run everything back in real time. So if you need help, please say that you need the help, where you from. Put it in the video so that we can reach out to help you. I promise, Alfonso is so good about making sure that he loses sleep over this, So just, do us
You
because
don't
we
have
are
to
there.
tell them that.
You do lose sleep because it's a passion.
You,
When it's a passion, it's a crap, baby. When you have a passion, yes, you're gonna do what you want to do to help the people, and it's a good thing. It's not a bad thing. It's a craft.
yeah, but
Come on, come on, come on. It's gonna be
I mean,
okay.
I didn't do this to receive any limelight for me, like shine a light on myself. I'm not doing this for that purpose, but I mean, I see that you are acknowledging my efforts, and I
Yes.
appreciate you for that. And I'm
It's
not
not a yeah,
diminishing
it's not
how
a
you feel
limelight
about that.
for now one of us. I appreciate all the work that you put in. I really do. And it's not like it's a limelight. It's just that just think about what we wouldn't have been. You the one that said, "Hey, I want to reach out to people of likeness that has been what I've been through. I want to help people." I have been talking to people, which some people say, "Oh, Storm, you helped me. You helped me, and I was in my state of mind. I was sad, and you helped me." And little did I know that I was helping people. Every you know, I was helping somebody. At least if I was helping them like once out a month or two or three people a year, I was helping somebody and didn't know that I was helping somebody. I didn't even know that I was helping one lady until she told me and started crying in tears and saying, "Oh, I didn't know. I thought I was by myself. I didn't know that
Mhm.
nobody could ever have the same matching story, a similar story to mine. And you taught me through it. And you said that it's going to be okay. And, things going to turn out better for me. And here I am now, and she did, and she's a good person, and she's really striving and vibing right now. But a couple of years ago, she was like an emotional wreck, you know? So it's not just you. You don't know who you can help. So you helped abroad a platform for many people to say, hey, yes, I do need this. Because some people can look at a platform and they can make a platform similar to ours, but it's going to be on something way totally different, but it can touch on what we're talking about, but not touch all the way on what we're talking about. We're on a whole different platform by ourselves. And we're trying to reach out to people of like mindedness. Because,
Mm.
hey, you ran into me and you didn't know, oh, the storm is going to have the same similar problems. You never knew until we started talking and we started talking about the past. And when you talk about the
Mm.
past, then you find out, oh my God, and I thought I had it bad, you know? So, yes, you reach out to help other people. So it's all about stopping hurt people from hurting people because that's how I have it when I do go live. We stop hurt people from hurting people. And that's why we call
Well,
it terror. It was a terror. Now it's a triumph because you have got druids and you triumphing. So yes, it's not meant to put you up on a platform. You just do a lot. Come on. You do a lot. You're a good person. Don't do that to yourself. You do a lot.
and it's just that very. I'm a very humble person. Okay,
And that's a good thing.
and it
But
was
you
hard,
deserved, yeah, you deserve recognition. I'm
but
sorry. You
I haven't done what I need to do on this platform yet.
But no, you
And
getting
that's why I'm
there
like,
and you getting there. Everybody, we're gonna get there and we're gonna look back through this and you're gonna be like, what was I thinking at the time? Why I said what I said? Come on. We haven't
I
got
know
where we
exactly.
wanna be. Yeah.
I know exactly what I'm saying when it comes to this
No,
because
but
it's a guy
it's
driven
it's
passion of mine to
moving.
do this.
Yeah, it's moving. And guess what? God gonna say, let there be light before the summertime can even get here. We're gonna speak that
Well,
into existence.
that's what that's another one of the premises of this show is for the light to be shown.
Yes. So
The
we
one of the
we
first things
gonna
that I talked about is that
yeah,
how can you receive healing and the person that's supposed to be giving you the healing doesn't know where you're hurting at? Or how can I tell somebody how to heal if I'm keeping my mouth closed? How
yeah.
can you
So
receive the healing if you don't open up and talk about
yeah,
what you need to be healed, where you need to be healed?
yeah.
So the world of fear that evolves around our situations as survivors isolates us from each other. We separate because this person says, nobody knows how bad I have it over here. But this person is going through the same thing, but they're saying the same thing. Nobody knows how bad I have it over here. They both suffering from the same thing, but because they're in isolation, they can't receive healing because they don't want to talk. This platform is the platform that opens that divide, that
that
opens
door.
the gap,
It opens
that
the
opens the
connection.
conversations, that keeps the people talking about the things that the society that we've lived in doesn't want us to conversate about. Why does the society not want us to conversate about these things? Because the people that control are generally the ones that want to keep these things going. I hate to say it, but look at the state of the United States and who's running it.
Okay,
We're
we're
supposed to
gonna
be
cut our leg.
greatest,
Yes.
the
Yeah,
greatest
don't.
country on earth, but those are
No,
the people running it. I'm just
yes.
saying, just saying.
No. I
So
know that's
somebody needs to
another,
step up. Somebody needs to
yeah.
speak out. Somebody needs to say, "Hey, this needs to stop." I'm gonna go here again. I say it every time. I'm gonna say these. I'm gonna keep saying it. the statistics from a university has stated that 4 to 6 out of every 10 Americans, just here in America, 4 to 6 out of every 10 Americans have suffered some form of child abuse. I call them the four horsemen. That's sexual abuse, physical abuse, verbal abuse, mental abuse. Now, the number says those numbers are diminished because most survivors don't report the crime. So that number goes up from 4 to 60%. That's 40 to 60%. So if you take a million people, you say 400,000 out of 600,000 have suffered, but the numbers could be greatly diminished because most don't report. So it could be like 7 to 800 or 7 to 900,000. We don't know the true numbers because most don't report. But that's how grievous it is that these situations happen, that we do not speak out about our situations, that we can't receive the help. And we end up growing into adults who are misfiring because we're stuck in a state of survival mode from our childhood abuse and we don't know how to handle it because we never addressed it. We never focused enough to say, I need help. Maybe later on you say, okay, this happened, that happened, it dawns on you later in life, maybe it is me. People keep telling you all your life, why you act that way? Why did you do this? Why did you say that? Why did you leave the conversation? Why did you push this person away? Why did you not receive the help that we tried to give you? These are all things that are like red flags for survivors to tell ourselves, hey, if I'm doing these things, if I'm self-sabotaging my relationships, if I'm doing all these things and I don't see that I'm doing it and I'm putting the blame on somebody else, I'll never receive the help I need. So this show is not just to bridge the gap between the help that we need and ourselves, but it's also to teach ourselves about ourselves. We have to learn about who we are as survivors in order to say, I can get to a point where I can name the things that's wrong with me. You can't name them if you don't know they exist. If you believe
Yeah.
everything's okie dokie, oh, I'll put that in the past. You're in a state of denial, but you don't even know it. See, that's the reason for this show. We have to get you
Yes.
to the point where you can say, I need healing. And then you can go to these numbers and get the healing that you need. That's bridging the actual gap. That's the actual help that you really need. Nobody's giving that information. Nobody's trying to address the situation. Nobody's trying to have these conversations except for us. People want to talk about childhood abuse. Sure enough, it exists. They want to talk about the medical terms and everything. Sure, that exists. But do they really want to connect people? Are they really trying to connect people? Are they really trying to give their own stories? Are they really trying to tell you how it really affects people? That's where we come in at. This is my life's work, and I will lose sleep over this. I won't stop because I'm starting to see that people do need the help, and it's not
Yes.
just people here in America; it's global. And as long as I see people need help, and as long as people keep coming to watch, as long as people keep downloading, I'm gonna keep talking. Storm is gonna be right here with me. And if I'm not here, God forbid that something happen to me, Storm gonna run the show. And we gonna keep this thing going. Maybe she gonna end up getting another co-host. And she'll be the host of the show. I don't know. But what I'm saying is this is a work that should never stop. We need to
Never
keep
stop.
this thing going because there's so many people of us out there. If you think about the numbers I just rattled off, then you know at least maybe half of the people you know have suffered child abuse. You don't know who because guess what? We're chameleons. We blend in really good. You'll never know. Storm told it to me one time. She said it in a way I had never thought about it before. Storm said, the people who dress up the most, who put on all the makeup, who dress to the nines, the heels, the sharp suits for the men, to smell good, all that to look like they perfect, their world is in shambles on the inside. those are the people that are probably suffering from some form of child abuse because they don't want nobody to know about it. And how they avoid it, they make themselves look the total opposite of what they feel on the inside.
Make you fear them,
I've
make
never
you
thought about it
inferior
that
of
way.
them. And they the ones that make you inferior of them. They the ones you like, I can't stand him. I can't stand her because she thinks she all that, or he think he all that because he got on that, you know, Tommy Hilfiger suit or whatever, or she thinks she all that because she got on some Chanel dress and she got on some red bottoms, and I can't stand her when she is going home to abuse, or either she done had childhood abuse, and you don't know if you followed her home and you looked in a mirror. I mean, you looked in the blinds of her house, then you probably could see that she's going home to abuse. She's hiding it through makeup. She's a victim of childhood abuse, and she not talking, and she go home to take off all those clothes, take off the makeup, and she's sitting in a big old home all by herself, and she's sad. So y'all think that the rich and famous, y'all think that they happy, or that money really buy, that money don't buy you love, that money don't buy you happiness. It don't even buy you, it can't even buy you a peace of mind. You don't
Never
have.
could, to be honest with you. Money will never give you a peace of mind. Only, only your heart and the man upstairs can do that. If you out here with a corroded heart, doing everything up underneath the sun that you know you shouldn't be doing, how you gonna have a peace of mind? Or, or if you're doing everything that you think you should be doing, you thinking it's the right thing to do, you got to look and see around you. If you got to hide what you're doing, is that the right thing? I'm just saying. I don't know why that came to my mind, but we're going to keep this 100. If you are going to be true to yourself, and all bullshit aside, put all the bullshit aside, if you are going to be true to yourself and to your convictions, you have to live that. You can't say one thing and do another. You can't hold somebody accountable to a certain thing and then you don't do it yourself. You cannot play the victim when you are the accuser at the same time. So, with that being said, if you are suffering and you're playing like you're the person furthest from the suffering, you are doing more harm than damage. I mean, more damage than good to yourself and possibly to the people around you who you're interacting with, because they think they're interacting with this perfect person, but you're not. You're crashing on the inside, and they're going to find out. Eventually, they'll find out. And then when they find out, they'll be like, why you ain't bring this up to me? I could have possibly dealt with it a different way. Or maybe I would have chosen not to even deal with you. But just like some other people I'm not going to mention, we sometimes want what we want and we don't want it to get away from us. So we lie. We lie. We put the honey on the table so the bees will come. And that's the honest truth. So for us survivors, we have to stop. We have to stop. We have to start being totally honest with ourselves. Brutally honest, really, because that's the only way that we're going to acknowledge what's going on with us. We are so far past time right now. I just looked at the time. I'm so sorry, Storm. Don't get mad at me. I was like, I looked up at the time. I was like, ooh.
I think I turned my lights. I tried to say, look, I did this and I did this. And
I must have looked away. I didn't even see you do that. I, oh my God. Oh my gosh. You're like, look, I'm trying to go to bed. You got me still on this thing. Okay, this is not epic. This is actually a live podcast, a live broad streaming video stream. So yeah, let me close out. This week, name one loss from your childhood name, and you don't have to do anything with it yet. Just acknowledge it. Grief is the path through loss, and you're brave enough to walk it. Okay. Join us Tuesdays and Saturdays at 9:30 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. Dare to Triumph with your host Alfonso Pelt and my co-host, the beautiful Storm. We are going to add some more time slots to the week so we can give you more information throughout the week and Q&As live, probably different times of the day because of our schedules. So stay tuned to the Facebook page or the YouTube channel for for that information that's coming out, okay? And don't forget, if you want to support the show, you can support by subscribing to Buzzsprout. It's only $10 a month I'm tired. Okay. It's only $10 a month to subscribe to our Buzzsprout channel podcast show. And you have to go to www.buzzsprout.com, look up Terror to Triumph there, and it will have a section down near the bottom to subscribe. Also, by supporting, you can go over to www.peltsemporium.com, where we are all beautiful, okay? And you can shop any branded Terror to Triumph. I can't zoom in on this, but this is right here. That's the logo. Storm has a big one on her chest. I got one on my back. I don't know if y'all can see it. I'm going to turn around in the chair. Move this over to the side. I got to move it this way. Let me see if I
Don't
can turn
fall
around.
there.
Can you see it?
Yes. We can see
Okay.
it. Yes.
Yeah, so the shirt, it don't just have a small emblem. It's got a big one on the back. And bring it back. So you can buy the branded merchandise that proceeds from those sales go to help fund Terror to Triumph show. I also want to shout out my nephew, Josh Pelt. Thank you for coming to watch the show, man. Appreciate you. If you want to chop it up, hit me up later or tomorrow or sometime during the weekend because my schedule is really hectic, especially doing this show. So give me a call. Everybody else, if you want to send a message, please hit us up on our Gmail at terror, the number 2, triumph at gmail.com. Send a message, a comment. If you would like to be a guest on the show, contact us there that way. So we are out. We thank you. We hope y'all have a blessed Easter weekend, and we will see you Tuesday. Take care, everybody.